4 months ago, I was in a really tough place in my life. I felt burnt out, navigating so much change, and I just felt so lost in life. I went to a breaking point where I spent £6,000 on hiring a life coach, and girl, I learned so much. Okay, the first question that you're probably going to ask me is, girl, what even is a life coach? I have been fortunate enough to be able to experience loads of different types of therapy, from hypnotherapy, online therapy, couples therapy, and I honestly thought that a life coach would be quite similar, but they're actually quite different. The thing that I really noticed with therapy is all about talking about your past, really looking into your childhood, why you are the way that you are. There's a lot of feelings that a lot of us kind of bury deep down inside, and we don't even realize that it has a knock-on effect as we get older. If you see my last makeup and mindset video where me and my sister talk all about how to heal from childhood trauma and generational trauma, you would know that we've been through the gigs, okay? It was not a pretty sight, us growing up with gambling addiction, with alcohol addiction, with domestic violence. Girl, there was just so many things from our past that I really had to digest, and I definitely think that therapy was exactly what I needed at the time. I definitely feel like now I was really ready to kind of like take this next chapter in my life. With a life coach, they are there for that time in your life when you're like, okay, I've dealt with the past, I kind of want to close the door on that, and now you want to move forward with your future, but it's like, where do I kind of go from here? Okay, I'm gonna be like the most honest and as real as I can be, especially in this video, because this is a subject that I have been really scared to talk about online. Why is my voice shaking already? It's something that I have been... Why am I getting emotional? Bitch. I don't know why, it's just so hard to talk about because I've always never felt good enough. Okay, so for years, I have always dreamt of building something for myself. Building a brand has always been on like the pinnacle of my dream. When I get there, I'm gonna be so happy. Like similar like how I thought like buying a house. That is the kind of like dream and aspirations that I've always had for myself. And honestly, behind the scenes, I have spent thousands on trying to launch businesses, and then the businesses fail before they even see the light of day. Like I've tried to launch a jewelry business. 3 years ago, I tried to launch a clothing business. I was working on that for over a year. I put so much money into it, and then after going through loads of therapy and really doing the work on myself, I basically realized that I never had enough confidence within myself to feel like I can actually launch something and to like be successful. Oh God. Okay, I might just have to like cry through this because I feel like every time I start and stop the camera, it's like breaking my flow, and I just want to speak from the heart. Through the years of me trying to launch businesses, I have had so many failures, so many shitty people, so many people take advantage of me, taking my weakness for kindness. There's just so many like bad decisions that basically has happened behind the scenes where there has to be like legal stuff happening, lots of money. One day I will tell exactly what happened, but there has been so many times where I just feel like, am I ever going to be good enough? Even when I was doing the jewelry business and the clothing business, I felt like I was doing it from a place of like scarcity. I was doing it from a place of like,
oh my God, I need to launch something because I'm going to be irrelevant on the internet in a couple of years.
I was just doing it because I felt like I had to do it. And now, after hiring a coach, I realised that this next stage in my life, I actually feel so ready for it. I feel like a lot of times in my past, I would beat myself up. And I felt like there was just so many things. I should have done this or I should have done that. And what I realised is that you cannot live your life like that. And my life coach really had to talk me through this next stage of my life where the past self, the person that was working till 2 a.m. every single day and had no life, like that person got me to where I needed to be right now. It's brought me the amazing life that I live now, but it's not the person that's going to take me to launching this business. Launching a business will teach you so much about yourself, realizing that you're going to make mistakes and it's okay to make mistakes. For a long time, I've always been really scared to make mistakes. I've always been so scared to not be good at something. Basically, I hired this life coach to really talk me through the mindset that I have to launch a successful business. So the current business that I'm working on right now, I've been working on since 2023. So it's been about 2 years now. I'm doing it all on my own. Okay, there's no one helping me or anything like that. You guys know that I have been with Gwang since I was 16. So for a long time, I've always felt like I needed someone. I could never do it by myself. I needed someone's help. That is where I went wrong, because I was putting my hopes, my dreams onto someone else, like waiting for someone else to come to my knight in shining armor. And I basically realized one day that it is me that has to put in the work. It's me that has to be the visionary. It's me that has to hire the right team. With my life coach, she's also a business coach as well. When I was looking into different life coaches, it was really important for me to find someone that actually understands my childhood, where I came from, being from an immigrant household, especially an Asian immigrant household. My life coach that I chose is amazing. Her name is Gina. I will leave all her details down below if you're ever looking for a life coach. But she specializes in female Asian entrepreneurs, which I'm like, oh. If anyone's ever looking for a life coach, I always recommend that you find someone that you really admire their work. Everyone has like a specialist in something, and I really wanted someone to like guide me into the right headspace of life, and also about opening up a business, how to run a team, how to manage myself, because for a long time I always was like,
no routine, or like always just working, but never feeling like my list is ending.
So even though I've been working on this business for 2 years, there has been so many times where I feel like, oh, I take one step forward, I'm going in the right direction, and then I get some news and I'm like 3 steps back. I have been documenting all of this journey, by the way, that one day I hope I'm going to be able to share what it actually takes to launch something like from the ground up, and not having any support. Like, I don't really have like mentors around me. I don't really have anyone that I can, look up to that has an amazing, successful business. So the only way for me to get that knowledge is to read, listen to podcasts, is to hire a life coach. So I really do hope that one day when I get to share that series of like launching a brand, it's really going to help someone else out there, because I know not a lot of us have those people around us, like they always say you're the average of the 5 people around you, but bitch, what, you ain't got nobody? What if you just about have your sister and your dog? Okay, we can be a part of each other's 5 circles, okay? Me and you, honey. Okay, one of the major themes that kept coming up in my coaching sessions was this feeling of guilt. I don't know if anyone else can relate with me on this subject, but I feel like if you're a people pleaser, you end up carrying a lot of burden. I always felt guilty saying no. I felt guilty for not working hard enough. I felt guilty when I spent money. I felt guilty when I wasn't being productive. I felt guilty when I couldn't say no. I felt guilty when I couldn't give 100%. Like, this feeling of guilt was just an paralyzing feeling where I always felt like I had no boundaries. I would be like giving everybody a little piece of my time, and then inside I'm like,
oh my god, I feel so stressed and so overwhelmed.
Again comes this cycle of guilt, blaming myself, never feeling like I'm enough, always feeling like I could be doing more. Like, this cycle was like an ongoing thing, and it was only until my life coach had to reflect it back to me. Every time I would, tell her what's on my mind, she would kind of like ping back to me like, this feeling of guilt is coming up again. I never thought of it as guilt. I always thought of it as like,
girl, you're just being a lazy bitch.
My first reaction to tell myself is like, get over it. Like, you can work harder. That is a toxic cycle to go in. I also noticed that I would do this thing with my partner Gwang, where I would blame him for making me feel a certain way. I would also blame him for not working as hard as me. I would have so much expectations of him because I had huge expectations for myself, so I reflected it back to him. If you're also dealing with this as well, my life coach really taught me that you need to recognize between what is your responsibility and what you're trying to control. I feel like with a lot of us, setting boundaries is so hard. Like, one of my themes this year is organization and boundaries. Okay, like, this is what I'm really trying to learn this year. And I've always heard this word boundaries kind of flung around or whatever, and I never really understood what it meant. But in my situation, my life coach actually told me that I needed to have boundaries within myself. And I was like, oh girl, I've never heard that before. I've always had boundaries with other people and, saying yes to everything or whatever, but I needed to have boundaries within myself. Like, if I say that I want to spend more time with my dog, I need to spend more time with my dog. I need to pencil that into my calendar. I need to take him out and not feel guilty. I also need to set boundaries within my working hours. A lot of times as well, when you're running your own business, when you're working for yourself, whatever you put into the business is what you get out. If I worked more, I would feel feel like more accomplished. On the flip side, I'd also feel so tired, burnt out, feeling like, oh my God, I haven't got enough time for everything. So I needed to set boundaries within myself to be like, okay, 8 p.m, you're closing the laptop, bitch. Like, that is something that I really had to stick within myself. So if you're struggling with people pleasing and feeling guilty as well, what are your boundaries? Write them down. What is something you don't want to tolerate? Is it with other people? Is it with your time? Is it with yourself as well? Setting discipline within yourself. The next thing that was like mind-blowing that I learned from my life coach is the concept of the energetic budget. Girl, I had no clue what that was, okay? I was like, oh, let me write that down and Google it. Let me go and ask ChatGPT. A lot of us kind of think about our budget as in our finance kind of budget, like what's in your bank, what are you physically paying for? But your energetic budget is actually like, what is actually worth your time? What is worth your energy? Like, is it worth you scrubbing the toilets, you know, for 4 hours when you could hire a cleaner for £15? Thinking about how you want to spend your time, how you want to spend your energy. And most importantly for me, I had to learn when it was time to rest, okay? This might be the opposite for you, okay? You might love rest, okay? You might need the energetic budget as in you need to get off your ass, girl. But okay, for me, I'm the opposite. I used to say to myself that I wish I didn't have to sleep because I'd have more time in my day to work more, which is actually so sad now that I say that out loud. I've always been that type of person that never valued rest. I'd always think of rest as being lazy. But after going to my life coach, I really have understood rest is not being unproductive. You actually need rest to be able to do your best. She told me about this analogy about if you are driving a car for a long distance. If you want to get there in one piece, you're gonna have to do a couple stops, refuel your tank. Whereas with me, girl, I was like full speed. My foot was on that gas, going until I'm like, why is it not going no more? I really have learned now that with the boundaries setting in place, with telling myself that it's okay to slow down, I have really adapted that into my life, and I've actually been like finishing work at like 6 p.m. recently. I've been spending more time with my family and just realizing that there's so many other things to life except for working. And it made me really realize that it actually brings me so much joy. Like even just spending time with Rolo, those type of things also give me so much energy. So if you haven't thought about where you're spending your energy, girl, brain dump this all down. Write down all of the things that you spend your time on and really see, like, does that actually give me energy? Does that give me life? Does that give me fuel? Does it give me passion? Okay, the next thing that I learned, she said that your story follows your state, and she had to keep repeating that quite a few times for me to get it in my head, because a lot of us, when we go through like challenging times, we overthink things. We feel like we're in panic mode. We feel like, oh my God, we need to like make a decision, or oh my God, we don't know what to do, and we kind of like put ourselves in analysis paralysis. Your story follows your state basically means that whatever you tell yourself at that time, you are never going to make the right decision from that state of mind. I really need to learn to regulate my emotions. When I had like a really shit day, I would start crying, I would start hyperventilating, I would almost have like a panic attack, and every single time my life coach would be like, Twee, we just need to pause. We need to take a deep breath to just like breathe. Even though I'm like, girl, we only got an hour session. We ain't got time to be breathing. But she basically said that if you are feeling like you don't have time to meditate, that is the time that you need to meditate. That is the time that you need to regulate your nervous system. When you take time to like slow down, you actually are able to make so much better decisions. That's why when people make like really big decisions, everyone always says sleep on it, because you're never going to be able to make good decisions coming from a state where you're just like stressed, where you feel emotional. There's a saying that you should never make long-term decisions on temporary feelings. Guys, that just blew my mind. Guys, I'm telling you, this stuff is profound, okay? Oh, I just feel so much better once my lashes go on. There's something about having a few spikes. I'm no longer a bold chicken. The next thing I want to talk about is embracing the newbie advantage. If you're like me, you are scared to fail. I feel like a lot of people are scared to try anything just in case they might fail, just in case they might fall flat on their face, and then people are going to be like, I told you so. I have always been like the C- student. Like, I was never really good at anything. Also, I remember when I was younger, like, if I ever used to drop something, if I ever made a mistake, my family would shout at me. They will say, you're stupid. They will say, like, why the fuck did you do it like that? Like, there were so many things that were making me feel like I was so scared to try. Looking back, like, that has had a knock-on effect on me trying. What was constantly coming up with my life coach was that I just felt stupid all the time. I'm 32 and I should know how to, you know, use Excel and all the spreadsheets and stuff like that. And what my life coach really had to reflect back to me was that, why do you have to know? It's okay to not know. It's okay to try. It's okay to make a mistake and try again. And I don't know why that really blew my mind. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that it's okay to not know. Because I've never done it before. How am I supposed to know? I've never had to use Excel spreadsheets. I've never had to use Photoshop before. Of course I'm not gonna know because I've never had to use it before. And I don't know why that was just so like mind-blowing to me, because I was like, oh, okay, like I can learn, I can try, and if I don't know how to do it, it's okay. I will figure it out. And that's basically how I kind of started off with my Notion page. If you haven't seen my how to be an influencer type of vlog, I kind of showed you how I kind of built up my Notion page. I was working on that for months and months and months, and I felt so stupid. I had no idea what to do, how to even plan my schedule, how to run a team, you know, how to run a business. And through my life coach, she kind of taught me that it's about you being proactive. It's about you looking at your calendar and scheduling time for you to learn. Whereas I would just go on Notion and just look at it and be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm so stupid. I would just freak out. Basically, she gave me the permission to take time out so that I could learn. And that was just like, I don't know, really mind-blowing to me that someone gave me permission to be kind to myself, and I don't know it, but I can figure it out. Okay, now this last one I really want to talk about, because I feel like this next point I'm about to tell you was the catalyst in why I started this makeup and mindset series. This is what a lot of my coaching session was about, and it was, how do you redefine success? Okay, I'm gonna ask you to leave a comment down below and you let me know, what do you find as success? Because for a long time, my idea of success was very skewed. It was all about financial security. It was all about financial freedom. My life coach was like, is there nothing else apart from financial freedom that is success to you? And I'm like, And it's not that I'm a money hungry person or anything like that. I do think it comes down from me not growing up with much, that I always feel like this scarcity, that one day all of this might go away. And also feeling like I am the breadwinner in my household, and if I don't show up, then who's gonna make the money around here? Like, there's a lot of pressure that comes with my job and like the place I am in my life right now. For a long time, I never considered myself successful. I always looked at other people and I'm like, wow, they're so successful, I want to be more like that. And I never once looked inwards to be like, what is success for me? What am I doing this all for? Going on all these apps and all this kind of stuff. And I always felt like I could have been doing more. And it was only until my coach was telling me that when it comes to my videos, there's a lot of times I post videos, for example, on my YouTube channel. Like, I feel like I put so much effort into this channel, and for a long time it wasn't growing. For a long time it was losing subscribers. This feeling of like never feeling good enough just keeps arising. This feeling of always feeling like I needed to be like this makeup girl. I needed to do more skincare videos. I need to do more makeup videos. If I'm completely honest, guys, like when I first started this YouTube channel, makeup and skincare and beauty was like my life. Like, I didn't have anything else. I didn't have no other hobbies. That's all I cared about in life at the time. You know, I was so young at the time. I was like in my early 20s. But now I've been through life, okay? Like, life has happened to me, and there's so many things that also interest me, such as personal development, such as relationships, such as friendship. Even the idea of like trying a new video. Let me just try to share a little bit of my personality, and then whenever the video will do shit, I'll be like, oh, see, no one cares. The video's no good. I just need to stick in my makeup lane. Forget about the vlog. No one cares about the vlog. I just kind of like put myself in a box as like this makeup girl, because every time I post like a makeup video or skincare video, it will get much more views. My life coach had to really reflect on me, like, why does views matter so much on whether the video is successful or not? I have always just seen like metrics as like, oh, if the video has good views, that means it's a good video. If it had shit views, then it's a shit video. But she basically reflected it on me, like, what if that was a video that you wanted to do? What if that was a video that you was actually so passionate about? Is that still a shit video? Girl, my mind was blown, girl. I was like, whew, I could never think of it like that, okay? And I was like, do you know what? I I'm going to judge my videos on how honest was I in that video? How authentic am I in that video? If the views aren't great, like forget about that. What about the comments? What if I get some really deep, heartfelt comment? That should mean more to me than just like 100 views. And that's where this makeup and mindset kind of series was born. I was like, do you know what? I'm actually going to just talk about things that I've been going through. Like I've learned so much along the way. Let me just see if it helps anyone else out there. Honestly, like it makes me feel so happy that like so many of you guys are so nice. Oh, guys, I'm crying, girl. Honestly, like doing this makeup and mindset series has really reignited this flame inside of me. This is what I love. Like, I love talking about some deep shit, you know? I don't want to just talk about like, you know, what highlighter I have on today. Of course, I love that as well. Of course, like I'm a girly pop and I love getting dressed up, but life is so deep. There's so much more to life. So many people are like struggling with some deep stuff that like they never tell anyone. For a long time, I never told anyone, you know? Like, even just this video alone, like there's so many things about failure, like never feeling good enough, that I'm sure hopefully this resonates with someone. My life coach basically put a spin on things and it made me look at things from a different perspective. For me, my channel is like about how do we connect, how do we, you know, find friendship that we've always craved. Like I've always craved for like this best friend, but you know what, like I have you guys, like you guys have been like the greatest friends to me that I could have ever imagined. It's amazing. You guys are from all over the world and you might not have even met me before, but we have this like deep connection, and that's why I feel so proud of my YouTube channel, because I know not everyone can do YouTube. Like it's so much easier for me to just to focus on TikTok and, you know, this short form surface level shit, but I really like value my YouTube community so much, and like being able to feel safe enough to have these conversations. Let me recoup, I'll be back. Okay, the big question that you're probably gonna ask me, was it worth it? Was it worth the 6,000 smackaroonies? It's a lot of money, guys. It was worth 3 times more than my previous car that I had, okay? Like when I tell you she was an investment, guys, it was the best investment I could have ever made at that time in my life. That time in my life where I just felt so much doubt, so much guilt. What I've learned from it is like so much knowledge, so much wisdom, so much more self-belief in myself. When I'm feeling anxious, I know exactly what to do. I have like meditation practices. I have homework that I can do whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed. I just have a lot more coping mechanisms. I would love to do another makeup and mindset video all about business, what I've learned along the way. I definitely feel like with business, like the biggest thing that I've learned is that it's 50% about your mindset. If 50% even believing that you can do it, like that is like the first step to even building a successful business. If you guys are interested, I would love to talk a little bit more about that in maybe another makeup and mindset video. I am going through this really big transitional phase in my life right now. Like there's so much happening. Hopefully in the next video you guys will find out. I'm actually going to be skipping a video next week and I'm going to be doing an announcement on my birthday. I'm actually going to be turning 33 and I have like a very heartfelt video, a very deep personal video that I'm so scared to talk about. But it's been a subject that's been on my mind for a long time. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm actually really nervous about that video. A very scary video for me to upload, but we're doing it, guys. We are redefining success together, okay? This is probably one of the hardest makeup and mindset videos I filmed. This really touches like a special place in my heart. I really want you to walk away after watching my YouTube videos in really believing in yourself, really realizing that you can do anything that you set your mind to. I love you guys so much and I'll see you guys in my next video. Oh god, this is like, oh girl, oh my god, why am I fucking crying so much? Bitch, you fuck down. These tears are just taking it to the next level. Whoa, that was some deep shit, guys. Jesus fucking Christ. It's actually so embarrassing crying on the internet. Like, I never want to be that girl, but I'm just a freaking emotional mess. You know, it's like so vulnerable to talk about these topics. Like, these are the topics that like you write in your journal. Like, you don't ever really tell anyone. So talking it out loud, like all these things that I've been thinking about in my journal is like, it's like level 10 emotion up in here, okay?
You're fine. You're fine.